way. That's how I live my life. If I want it, I create it, dude.
That's right. Manifest that shit.
Yes.
All the way.
Right. Manifest that shit.
Iconic is an understatement, and we are so thrilled. We are beyond thrilled to welcome to the stream. She is the one, she is the only, Dee Wallace. Woohoo! How's it going?
Oh, dang.
Like I said,
I got all that shit to live up to, right?
Right. I put you on a high pedestal. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I brought you in shining gold. You know, the luster is bright. Don't worry. We'll take care of you.
Well, Dee, thank you so much. This is such an honor. And we kind of wanted to start by saying you were recently awarded the Women of Influence Award at the Heartlands Films at the Women Filmmaker Showcase. That is so incredible. Congratulations. How does that feel to have everything that you've done? I mean, this is so wonderful. How are you feeling about all that, Dee?
Well, I feel honored. And I feel really good that not only my acting work, but my healing work is out touching people's lives by teaching. You know, I think that's my calling in life, is to touch people, move people, enlighten people. So it was really lovely to receive that award.
And I saw, as an extra bonus, your daughter actually got to present you with the award.
Yes, they surprised me because I had asked her to go with me. She said, "Oh, Mom, I'm just slammed. I don't have time." Damn little actress that she is. So, yeah, when I walked up to the rooftop to receive it, she was there. And that was really special because my kid and I are like tight, really tight.
Oh, that's so great. Well, congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Of course.
Absolutely. You know, recently Stephen King had some incredibly kind words to say about you and your career as well.
Yes.
What kind of emotions did you feel? Because, acting, as you just mentioned, is all about, the emotional charge and delivering a feeling to someone who's watching your performance. How did it feel hearing his thoughts about Cujo and all of that?
Well, again, I was honored. I have great respect for Stephen King and his incredible talent as a writer, and for him to speak those words, Academy Award, along with my name in the film of his that I was blessed to be a part of, was really something very special to me.
Yeah. Wow. I was re-listening to that again today, and I thought I would echo everything he had to say. And obviously your work speaks for itself, but Cujo, of course, what an iconic film, and of course you're iconic in it. So
it's my favorite film. I just feel like I went as far as I could go, as truthfully as I could go there, and I'm really very proud of my work in that film.
Well, as you should be. And well, speaking of Cujo and also E.T., I think one thing that's really awesome about you is your friends and, let's say, fans have the opportunity to come meet you and talk to you and learn about, obviously, your healing and also all of the work that you've given us at conventions all over the world. So I wanted to know, what is that like for you, having, you get to see kids that you played their mother in films and now they're all grown up, you're all at these conventions together. Is it like having multiple family reunions every month?
Yeah, the boys and I are pretty tight. We've done a lot of shows together, and I have to tell you, I love doing the conventions. I love being with the fans. I love hearing all their stories, some of them incredibly moving, some of them hysterically funny. I mean, it goes from everything from a mother of an autistic boy, and she had never heard him speak for 10 years. and she took him to see the re-release of E.T. And on the way home, he said every line that E.T. said in the film.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
That's miraculous to that mother. And then there's the kid that came up to me and said, "Hey, you know how I was conceived in the back seat during the Howling?" You know, so I get it all.
In an Astro van at the drive-in with a cup of popcorn, some
Yeah.
Mike and Ike's, and a Pepsi. You're like, thanks, child.
Yeah, I said, wow, they got that bored, did they?
We're inspired. No.
Yeah. He said, no, I think they got really excited by the werewolf deed. So you get everything, but I've had many opportunities to help a lot of people heal that come through my lines too, and give them some pretty valuable advice about what they can do with some problems in their lives. And I love that interaction with them. I know a lot of actors go, oh my God, I got to go do another convention, but I make a lot of money. That's not how I look at it. I look at it as an opportunity to really mix and mingle with the people that are important to me.
Yeah, and thank you for that, because I met you at Spooky Empire, and I know you're going to be there, I believe, again later this year.
Yeah.
So that's incredibly exciting. But the thing I wanted to mention is I think it's your energy that you put out there that makes people feel very comfortable to talk to you, because a lot of times I think it can be a little intimidating meeting people that you look up to. But like you said, you know, you're also there to help with healing and sharing your wisdom and inspirations, and you make that very, very easy to talk to. So
good. Thank you.
I
hope so. I think, you know, yeah, it's part of our job, but it's also part of our great opportunity to
it's
be
rewarding.
one-on-one with people. I mean, you know, sometimes I get calls and they go, you know, we just want you to run them through. And I said, can't do it. Not about that. You know, sometimes people drive 4 or 5 hours to come to these cons and pay a lot of money to come in, and they deserve that time with you. They deserve to feel seen and heard and special.
100%.
Oh, definitely.
100%. I've had the blessed privilege of being a voice actor, being in a bunch of video games, and been able to do a few conventions as well. And, you know, with this new medium of video games, the kids who come up are so thankful. They're like, I've had so many adventures with your character. We've done so many things together. We've gone on, and you were there for me when I had a bad night, and I just want to say thank you. And I'm like, hey, anything, absolutely. That's what we're here for. That's what the value of this to society is the healing of it, the wholesomeness of it. And Dee, you got it. You know what I mean? The 80s badass is, you know what I mean? There's a familiarity to your vibe too that people related to. Obviously, it shows in person, I think, as you're hearing now from Heather, and it definitely showed on the screen, you know. And you being,
I hope so. I think an actor's most important job is to be real, you know, and especially in horror films, that can be pretty challenging because a lot of it's over the top. They want the drama. They want you to push it. And I think it's just really important that it's got to be heart hooked, you know, it has to be coming from somewhere. Otherwise, it doesn't mean that much. You know, your story reminds me of a kid who came up to me too and said he grew up in a really, really small town. And he was in middle school and his mom and dad got divorced. And he was an outcast. His friends wouldn't talk to him. And then E.T. came out that summer, and I was a single mom. And all of a sudden, it gave his friends an okay to include him again. I mean, we just, never know how our work is going to affect lives, you know?
And also how many different ways you can interpret a film that affects you directly. You know, I think that's the brilliance of film too.
You bet. I mean, we all come into a film with a story and a life and a history, right? And that helps shape the perspective that we see the film from. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's been a good life.
Awesome.
You know, you said earlier that you're on the West Coast time. I don't know if you're in California or sure you're familiar with the Los Angeles area, but there is a place in Los Angeles called Universal Studios Hollywood, and they had the ET ride.
We still have it in Orlando.
It's still functioning in Orlando. It was replaced in Hollywood years back with the Mummy ride. But did you ever, for trivia's sake, did you ever get a chance to ride that in LA?
Not only did I get a chance to write it several times, I did a lot of voiceover for it.
So awesome.
While you're going through the line.
You saw the segue there. It was like,
so yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful ride, and my daughter was young, you know. I mean, I hadn't even had my daughter when I did ET. So, but we went on it several times. My mom came out from Kansas. I took her on it. Yeah, I know you still have it. You still have it in Florida.
Oh yeah, in Orlando.
Right?
Oh, we sure do.
Spoiled.
And that's usually like, oh, we are spoiled. But I mean,
all that space out there, right? You guys have all that space. I still work on the lot. I work for the Transformers operation now on the lower lot, right next door to the ET ride. So,
cool.
And we have a little shared secret because in Universal lore, ET was famous because they would say your names as you went through the ride. Sometimes ET would say your name. It was like a big deal. And like you would go see the Knight Rider car and they would go say your name. Well, nowadays, the Knight Rider has been phased out in ET, unfortunately, but the Transformers are there. And we're saying kids' names too. And we're making them smile just the way that ET did back then. So we're continuing the legacy. We're continuing the legacy.
So much to a kid. You know, to hear their name, and it personalizes it. It makes it special, you know.
Josh, can you say our names?
Right. As Optimus Prime or ET, you know. So.
Optimus.
Optimus would be, well done, Dee. And, you know, digging deep in the Peter Cullen bag and farewell, Heather. Like, but there was something funny about hearing ET do it because he would always say, he'd be like, Cindy. He had that kind of
character, dude. You know?
I also wonder how many people gave fake names, but I always gave my real one.
Right, yeah.
For the most part.
One time when I went through, I think I said Mary.
Oh,
just for fun.
I think that's allowed. I think Mary is very allowed. Oh, Josh, you want to do the second half of the question?
Well, yeah, it was like, what would you, if any other of your movies could be turned into a ride, what do you think would be the best? I mean, I think if they did a Cujo ride, it would be very violent, but it would be wonderful. And maybe like a Horror Nights thing when they do one of those.
Let me tell you, I just went to Universal. I just took my whole family to Universal.
Okay.
Every single ride, even the kids' ride, are violent. I couldn't believe it. I mean, whatever happened to the Dumbo shit, you know, and stuff like that.
Well, I think that's still at Disney, right? Do they still have Dumbo there?
Yeah, but I mean,
but she's right. The lower lot is severely. It's aged into like teenage stuff, you know.
Shocked.
Yeah.
But let me see. Well, if I was gonna do a guy's ride, I'd do a 10 ride.
Okay.
A 10 experience. It'd be the 10 experience.
Yeah, the 10 experience.
The 10 experience.
Yeah, with a lot of boobs flying around. And if it's
you get to come out smelling the perfume, just like nothing but perfume.
If it's gonna be a horror one, probably The Frighteners. because
Okay.
there's
That would
knives
be an
and
amazing mix.
ghosts and all kinds of stuff you can. Yeah.
And I also have to wonder, because obviously Halloween Horror Nights is a huge staple also. How many of your films have been transformed into like what do they call them? Walkthrough experiences? Because it's or
I don't have a flicking clue how many, but I'm sure Rob Zombie's, all the movies I've done for Rob, I'm sure a lot of them have been in there.
yeah. That's my
You did,
favorite. Yeah.
yeah. Most recently, I think you were in Three from Hell, I
Yep.
believe, which my wife is a huge fan of the series, and we were stoked to see them bring it back. The Devil's Rejects are some of our favorite horror characters. So, and to see your
What
cameo on that was always amazing.
a
So,
crazy character she was. Rob sent it to me over the email, and I wrote him back and I said, I have to do this part, Rob, but I can't look like me. I have to be really ugly and with like no makeup. And can I have some horn rimmed glasses? And I waited for the email and waited for the email. And pretty soon the email came in and he went, okay.
Well,
That was,
thank you.
that was the end of the discussion, right? I know I get questions all the time about why I allow myself to look like shit in so many movies. You know,
Hardly.
I think those parts are ever so much more interesting than leading ladies.
Well, it's not you. It's a character. You know, you're transforming into a character.
Yeah, and to hide behind that and find all of her crazy nuances that she had. And I love working with Rob, by the way. He's my kind of director.
Yeah, we actually wanted to ask, what is your favorite things about like Rob's directing style? Obviously, he has such a unique vision.
He has a totally unique vision, and he is open to absolutely any idea that anybody wants to bring on. In Halloween, we did the big family scene, according to script. And then he said, okay, we got it. Now everybody just bring in their best shit and do just whatever you want to do. And that's how all the bagel thing happened between Scout and I. All of that was improv, right? And he just, to me as an actor, that gives you so much permission and encouragement to just play out there, and be free and bring in all your crazy ideas. When we did Halloween together, no, it wasn't Halloween. It was, oh gosh, where the one with the three witches.
Lords of Salem.
And I'm sitting in my dressing room after we give her to the devil. And I'm sitting in my dressing room and I'm like, something's not right. And I went, oh my God. And I ran upstairs to Rob. I said, Rob, I've been playing a part in this whole first part. This isn't who she is. This is a part. And now we've given her to the devil. I have to be who I am. I have to be severe, and I've got to be the witch, and I've got to change the look. And he looked at me and went, you got 10 minutes. But he knows when he hears it, and he knows if it's right, and he trusts his actors.
That's amazing.
An awful lot to say about that for a director.
For sure. And the fact that he lets you suggest something and he lets you try it, and if it works, it makes it into the film. That's awesome too.
And I got to tell you, almost every really big director I've ever worked with is open to that. Rob is super open to that, but every big director, and Dan Blatt, my executive producer from Cujo, came up to me the day after we shot that scene where I yell at Danny and say, "All right, I'll get you your father." And he said, "Dee, we just looked at the dailies. I need you to look at this because we're afraid the audience won't like you." So I went to look at it and I turned to Dan and I said, "If you cut this, you're crazy. There isn't a parent in the world that has not felt that." And I'm sure he had other votes about it, but they kept it in. And that was probably the most mentioned scene in all the reviews.
Well, then I'm very thankful that they did leave it in.
Yeah, me too. Real,
well,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, another person we wanted to mention, one of our favorites, Barry Bostwick. We love him. We're obsessed with him.
I love him.
Yes, and you've had the opportunity to work with him on multiple occasions.
Yeah. You guys are always husband and wife in these movies. It's there's been 3 films. I think at least you guys have been husband and wife in Barry and Dee, and you guys making an incrable husband and wife.
Yeah, we just have just a natural connection. But I got to say, I don't know. You'd have to be pretty out there not to be able to connect with Barry. He's just there and he's available and the sweetest man to work with.
He is.
Big heart.
Any future projects with Barry coming down the line, possibly?
I'm sure there are. I just don't know if
you haven't gotten the script yet. They're on the way.
We're always like, "I'm doing this. Do you think you'd be interested? I'm doing that. Do you think you'd be interested?" So one of these days, another project will work out, I'm sure.
One can only hope.
Right.
Well, we're going to create it that way. That's how I live my life. If I want it, I create it, dude.
That's right. Manifest that shit.
Yeah.
All the way.
Right. Manifest that shit.
100%. 100%. You're currently working on a rom-com and I'm sure a bunch of other projects. Anything you can tell us about what you're currently shooting? What's coming down the pipeline for you?
Well, I'm getting ready to go to Texas to do a horror film.
Okay.
Horror suspense film. And the rom-com I just had, oh my God, I had so much fun. Again, we were given so much freedom to play and bring little things in. Oh my God, it's going to be so good. And my family film, The Legend of Cat Claws Mountain, I really loved doing that one too. I go from grandmothers to mothers to grandmothers to mothers to witches. I don't know how much I can talk about it, but I just came in to do a cameo for my buddy Anthony Ferrante, whom I did the Knicks for. And the minute I read it, I just saw her. I saw the clothes. And they were originally leaning towards making her really pretty and gorgeous. And I'm going to leave it at, I had a whole other idea.
Okay.
But we were so jazzed about how it came out.
Awesome.
And I used this voice, which just about killed me after the end of the day. But you appreciate that as a voice.
I 100%. Yeah. I 100% do.
Yeah.
I think several of the characters I do are just them doing that, and I only play ogres and pigs. I'm very typecast. It's very typecast. It's never ending.
Ogres and pigs, I do moms and grandmas and witches.
I love that. Well, just to pivot a little bit, we wanted to talk about Bubba La Paloo and the I Love Me's. And so there's been so much incredible feedback. So we wanted to kind of get your inspiration for the book and the characters.
Okay, well, I wrote the adult book, Born, Giving Birth to a New You. And I thought, I know from teaching brain science along with my spirituality, our self-esteem and how we see ourselves in the world and how we see the world seeing us, totally locked into our brains by 8 years old. So whatever you're taught or modeled from conception to 8, you pretty much have based the rest of your life on that belief system. So I thought we better get busy writing some children's books that start teaching the principles of self-creation. And this is the first one in the series.
That's so cool. I feel like something like that didn't exist before Bubba La Paloo. You really couldn't find a lot of stuff that were directed towards children,
Yeah, not with that intention. I'm sure there probably are things out there. I know when my daughter was little, I used to go out of my way to watch Marlo Thomas. She had a TV program on that was all about Proud to Be Me. And I could find, like, the Berenstain Bears taught, that whole series taught really important ethics to kids, but it didn't teach how to create yourself. And like in Bubba La Paloo, this first book, Bubba, the little bear, is talking to this little boy, and the little boy says, Daddy says I'm not strong enough, and Grandma says I'm not old enough, and Mommy says I'm not a good enough friend. And Bubba says, well, you haven't asked the most important person. And the little boy says, well, who's that? And Bubba says, you. Who do you want to be? Mm-hmm. And that's where the choice begins. How are we going to define who we are? Because how we define who we are directs the energy of who we are. And that reflects the life that we live.
Wow.
Oh, amazing words, Dee.
Josh, you're going to have to get the book for your little kiddo.
I'm going to read this to my little girl, Can we put that back on? The book is called
Bubba La Paloo and the I Love Me.
Bubba La Paloo and the I Love Me, available on Amazon.com or imdwallace.com, written by herself, Dee Wallace, illustrated by Vincenzo Lodato.
Oh, and the illustrations are so beautiful, you guys. They're just they're so sweet and so
it looks wonderful. It looks wonderful. What a great thing to teach yourself too. Self-creation, becoming your own hero. Something I like to tell my son and my daughter was, there's only one you in the whole universe ever. You are the best you there's ever going to be. So just remember that,
Beautiful. I love you for that.
Absolutely.
I do. And then, for those of us who weren't fortunate enough to learn all these things and be taught all of them when we're children, the adult book Born will help you. Literally, it's a formula for exactly how to create anything in your life. Because once you know the formula, guys, you can apply it to anything. This is how I created E.T. Do you know I didn't even audition for E.T.? But I was in alignment with magnetizing it to me. Do you know that 6 specialists told me I'd never have a baby? My daughter is 33 and my best friend. I created 3 series this way by being very clear about what I wanted and feeling a lot of love and joy around it, and then just allowing it to come to me. It's really so easy that everybody wants to make it hard. And Born is really, really easy to read, guys. It's fun, it's short, but it gives you the whole formula how to create your life.
Well, I'm definitely after this going to order it because I want to live more like you. I mean, I feel like it's so easy to let negative influences and elements get in your head. So if I can do anything to make it 1 degree easier, I'm in. Yeah. You got me.
Really, it's just about being conscious. But most of us are so unconscious, we just keep playing the same beliefs that aren't ours, that we didn't choose, that we were just given. And so we said, oh, okay, they must know. I'll believe that. But mostly they're wrong, guys. They were doing their best, absolutely doing their best. But sins of the fathers, they weren't taught to be empowered. And so how were they going to teach us to be empowered?
Before we actually have a game we're going to play, but I wanted to ask you because I believe you also recorded the audio version for your book as well. So that has to be really fun to do. These are your words, you're speaking with your own voice. What is the process like for recording the audio version, specifically for Born?
Well, I think we did it in about 2.5 days. And what was surprising to me was I must have stopped 4 or 5 times and gone, wait, I have to read that again. It was like, did I say that? Of course, my channel wrote the book. So when I heard the words coming out of me, sometimes I went, oh my God, that's freaking brilliant, right? That was the most fun part for me, was really hearing this life-changing information that I had forgotten that I wrote,
Yeah. Wow. No, that's so cool. Yeah, I can't wait to check it out. Maybe I'll do the audio version. Or maybe I'll do the book. I don't know.
Well, all I ask is that if you're going to read it or listen to it, you don't just read it or listen to it. You actually start living the principles, because I guarantee you your life will change exponentially.
Well, I have chills. I'm very excited.
Book is called Born, Giving Birth to a New You, available also on imdwallace.com. Check that out.
If you want me to sign it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I'll bring it to Spooky Empire when I see you there in June. Done.
Okay, deal.
Deal made.
Well, we do have a game, Dee.
Oh,
this
God,
is a game
I'm
of would
so bad at these.
No. There's no wrong answer. It's a
quadratic
game of
equations.
Yes, exactly. The Pythagorean theorem.
The Pythagorean theorem is good.
It's a game of would you rather. So you only have to pick between 2 choices. That's it. And if you want to pick both, you can. If you want to pick neither, you can. So we're going to bring it up. This is our game of would you rather. So, okay. Would you rather have a life-size critter or own an animatronic ET?
Oh, for sure, own an ET. I don't want one of those little suckers chawing on me. No way.
It's like they were just like mini Gene Simmonses. I remember the little critters were just like a little Gene on your shoulder.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, most of the time we would be all into the emotion and we'd hear, all right, roll them in.
Roll them in. I love it. Well, I got my little mini ET right here. All right. Josh, you want to do the next one?
Absolutely. Would you rather have a cartoon based on Bupalupaloo?
Good. You got it. Bupalupaloo.
Or a Bupalupaloo. See, you got to get the right inflection. Or have a Bupalupaloo balloon at the Macy's parade?
These are great questions. I would rather have a cartoon.
That'd be really cool.
Because you can
I
have
would.
both. You can have the cartoon and then the balloon.
And then the balloon.
That's right. That's
right.
right. If I forgot, I could choose both. You're
You
right.
can.
Go for it all. Yeah, but in the cartoon, I could reach a lot more kids.
Awesome. All right. Here's the next one. Okay. Would you rather live in a world directed by Wes Craven or live in a world directed by Rob Zombie?
Got dark fast. Got dark.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Well, only because Rob has become a good friend and I work for him a lot. I would go for the world with Rob because I know the real Rob. When we were doing Halloween, we had some downtime and I said to him, "So Rob, what's your favorite movie this year?" Little Miss Sunshine.
It's
I said, "Don't
amazing.
tell anybody. You will totally ruin your whole persona."
He's like, later on, I have to perform Demonoid Phenomenon, but thank you. I will mention that.
And I was going to say, in the Rob Zombie world, I guess we get the music too, which is pretty great. So,
Yeah, and the artwork.
and yeah.
Have you gotten a
Right.
chance to hang out? And his wife, too. Shout out to
Sherry.
Sherry.
Oh, Sherry. Sherry's just a beautiful lady. They're a beautiful couple. Just every morning she brings him his health food shake and his vitamins.
Love it.
I'm excited for they're doing a reimagining, right, of the Munsters.
The
so that
Munsters,
should be pretty fun.
Rated PG, so I can't wait to see what Rob did.
I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I have a little voiceover thing he asked me to do in it, so
even better. Now I'm even more excited.
Excited.
All right, Josh.
Moving along, would you rather compete on Dancing with the Stars or compete on The Masked Singer? Oh.
That would be Dancing with the Stars.
That hat looks it's too hot in those masks.
I actually have wanted to do Dancing with the Stars for years. Now I'm not so sure I'd want to do it anymore. But between these two, yes.
Dancing with the Stars. Well, I mean, you are a
hell of a lot more work, I can tell you that.
I couldn't even imagine. Nope.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the next one. Okay, this one's kind of fun. Would you rather explore the ocean floor with Stephen King or go to space with Steven Spielberg? I love these pictures.
Well, yeah, these are great, guys. I think, even though I'm scared to death of water, I would like to explore the ocean floor with Stephen King.
It's a good choice, especially if he's wearing that outfit. I mean,
yeah, that's pretty rad.
Well, if you went to space, Steven Spielberg would just make some moving documentary about the shuttlecraft required to get there and the people who made it and the mothers crying as you went home. If you went on the ocean floor with Stephen King, you'd get like this horror story of the ninth creature of the abyss coming to like infiltrate your mind. You'd get something.
Yeah, and maybe I could star in it. There
as
you go.
should.
There you go.
All right. We got two more.
We got two more. Would you rather be cast as a superhero or be cast as a historical figure, aka a queen, royalty?
That would be a historical figure. I'm surprised, huh?
Nothing surprises me. Any historical figure in particular that comes to mind?
Oh gosh, Joan of Arc, maybe.
Ooh. Okay.
Until the end.
I love it.
Choice.
Yeah, I like heart-centered stuff. So superhero really isn't up there for me.
Cool. Well, historical figure.
Unless it's in my daughter's life, and then I'm happy to be the superhero.
Well, you know what? You're already a superhero because you're her mom, and all moms are superheroes across the world. So I already got that one covered, So.
Yeah. All right. This is the final one, Dee. Okay. Would you rather go back in time and star opposite of Vincent Price or go back in time and star opposite of Bela Lugosi?
Both.
Both it is. You could pick both.
Yeah, I would like to do both.
Yeah.
They were the beginning of it all in horror, you know. And I would like to go back and be a part of that experience of starting it all.
Very fair. All right. Well, that was the game, and you did great. You didn't get any
my
wrong.
God. That was so
You got nothing
good.
wrong. You won them all. You got them all right. Like,
That was really
incredible. It was
creative.
incredible.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's always fun getting to, you know, curate them for the guests that we have, because, you know, all of our guests are so different. So this one was really fun getting to do for you. So
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Very innovative.
well,
Yeah.
thanks. Thank you. Well, before we let you go, we wanted to mention that you actually have a master class this Sunday, which is the complete guide to manifesting happiness and success through, is it Amphi? Is that the name of the
Yeah.
platform it's on? Can you
Yep.
tell us a little bit more about your master class that you're offering?
Yes, I'm going to take and outline all the principles in Born and give an explanation so people really understand what they are, and take Q&A from the audience about questions they have about manifesting or creating. I'm really excited about it.
That's
What a cool project.
awesome. And of course, we also wanted to mention that you do have a radio show as well. So can you tell us a little bit about
I
Conscious Creation
do.
Radio Show?
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, you can get how to log in or how to call in on the homepage of my website, iamdeewallace.com. And you can call in and ask the channel absolutely anything you want to know about. There's nothing off the table.
And there's been quite a few episodes, Dee. I think, what are you, up to 500 almost?
Over
or
600 now.
over 600.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That's
And I've done
wonderful.
almost every one of them, almost.
That's amazing. Wow. Well, you have a lot going on, and it's so great that there's so much to promote. Before we let you go, Dee, do you have any final thoughts you want to leave us with here today?
Yeah, just, you know, the secret to everything is loving yourself, guys. And we're not ever taught to do that. We're taught that it's egotistical and selfish, and it's not. Because the more you love yourself, the more you have to give to everybody else. So just know your magnificence and start loving yourself to death.
Thank you for
For
that.
life.
Love
I
you
love
for
it.
that.
Yes,
Love
thank
you for
you.
that.
Oh my gosh. Well, before we let you go, Dee, we're gonna go over upcoming guests that we have for April going into May, because it's crazy. It's already mid-April. Next week we have Casey Jost from Impractical Jokers. Thursday we have Kevin Mellon, and then we're welcoming back David Cook from American Idol. We have voiceover actor David Sovolov. Next month we have Felix Cavallari from the Young Rascals. We have Megan Lindsay, John Kassir. We also have Jason Marsden, and we're just so excited that you guys have been tuning in and hanging out with us. And Dee, thank you so much again. Until we meet again at Spooky Empire, I'm so excited.
You better come out and give me a big old hug.
It's happening.
Pink girl hug.
Let's do it. We'll wear our matching outfits again.
Josh, you're great. Fabulous.
Thank you so much. You continue to inspire and brighten all those who come into contact with you, and the rumors are true. You are an amazing person, Dee. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well,
Wow.
thank you. Well, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Make sure to visit her website, iamdeewallace.com, to check out all of her upcoming events, seminars, radio show, so much more, her books. And we will see you guys next week. Be safe, everybody. Bye-bye.